Hi everybody, welcome to a new tutorial from Sound for More. It's Leo speaking. Well, today I thought to show you how you can use Scalar 2 with an external device, like in this case, the Roland Fantom 06. And it's absolutely a fantastic combination. But before I continue, I would like to remind my viewers to subscribe as it helps with growing the channel. Thank you very much. Okay, so why am I saying it's a great combination? Well, because it is. We know the Phantom O and also the big Phantom, the last Phantom series released by Roland, are not really great when it comes to actually arpeggios. So you can't really rely on the arpeggio functionality if you want to have multiple arrangement. But because you can only run one arpeggio at the same time. So you can't really construct very quickly patterns using arpeggio, for example. You can to some extent individually, but even the number of arpeggios is quite limited and you cannot create your own arpeggios. Yes, you can create your patterns manually, and that is where the Phantom the new Phantom is actually really, really good. So the combination of using Scalar 2, where Phantom gives you the ability to use Scalar 2 to create very quickly patterns that then you can trigger in the Phantom, which is really nice. So let's start in the iPad, bringing in Scalar 2. And I would say that I have connected Scalar 2 from the iPad to the Phantom using one of those wireless Midi connectors, which you can find sure in Amazon and others retailers as well. So let's click enter on the Phantom, select bank D, so it is we get into an initialized scene. Let's press zone view as well. Let's press again so we can see actually 4 different zones. Okay, on the first zone, let's go to string. Okay, and then press enter again. And let's choose something like, for example, a pizzicato, which let's press enter. Sounds like this. So let's go back to the iPad and let's ensure that the Scalar 2 as a MIDI output is going to the MIDI controller, sorry, the wireless MIDI interface, which at the moment is not there. So you can go here on the hamburger menu, click on the settings, scroll right at the bottom, and then click, on Bluetooth Central, and you find in this case my one, which is the BT01 from Yamaha. I click on connect it, and it is connected now. So let's go back again to the channel, select the MIDI output, and now you can select as a MIDI destination the MD BT01. Okay. So what it means is that the MIDI signals as a MIDI out will go through that external Bluetooth MIDI adapter, which therefore will go from the iPad directly to the Phantom. And indeed, if I was to bring up the keyboard inside the and connect it to as a MIDI output to the Yamaha MIDI Bluetooth MIDI interface, and I press some key. Now you see that I'm playing the Phantom O directly from AUM. Okay, but let's hide that keyboard. Let's go back to Scalar. And this is where I think is really, really great to use the combination of the two. So let's go to songs. Let's go to cinematics. And let's go to, why not, epic. Then we select all those chords. Move them to the C section. And there is a full set of tutorials which I've created on my channel on how to use Scalar 2. So just please check those for more information. Now let's put it on the loop mode and let's play directly from AUM. So at the moment it's playing only chords. Let's click on perform and then let's press play again. So as you can see, it is really, really straightforward to create straight away a sequence right, using the codes generated from Scalar 2 and also using the perform mode. Now I move to the sequencer view and I can use the octave to move up all the chords, and therefore the perform will change because I moved everything by an octave up. And of course I can change performances like so, and I can get to something more interesting. Or can use, for example, rhythms. So I can say go for volante and marziale. Now, the great thing of course, using the two is you can also use it for recording. Now, as you can see here, you have a 2, 4, 6, 8 chords, and by default, the duration of the chord is 2 bits. So if we go to the pattern mode inside the Fantom and we click record now, we remove the click, it's quite annoying. We go to counting and we say wait for note and we press OK. And now we go back at the beginning on the iPad and we press play. Now I stopped on the iPad and then I also stopped on the Fantom to stop the recording. Now I have created that, or I have recorded that that sequence of playing chords from AUM from the iPad using Scalar 2 inside the Fantom. Now if I press play on the Fantom, so that is really, really nice. As you can see, it is really, really straightforward to do that. And if you go back now to Scalar 2 and you use the same set of chords, but you change the perform mode. For example, you go up and say choose bass, and then let's choose, I don't know, the basic one, just as an example. Then what we do, we go on the settings, we scroll down where it says MIDI channel, and we select channel 1. And we select channel 2. So we change from channel 1 from channel 2. So now I will send MIDI messages on channel 2. So what we do now is we go back to zone view and we go to the second zone and we press, for example, a bass here. Okay. Really nice. And now let's play again from AUM. Really nice, isn't it? So go back to the beginning in Scalar 2. Let's go to pattern again. We have selected the, as you can see, the first pattern on track number 2 or zone 2. We press record again. We repeat the process. Okay, remove the click, wait, note. It just so happened that by default it is 4 length as a measure. And because I'm playing 8 chords, but I'll 2 bits per chord, so it will fit nicely. So again, I have only to play now on the iPad and then the Fantom will record. Okay, I stopped the play from the iPad from Scalar 2, and I also stopped the recording from the Roland Fantom. So now I have 2 patterns, and now I can click play directly on the Fantom. The great things, of course, is that you can still see the chords being on the Scalar 2 on the iPad, and therefore you can use the chords there to actually remind you, for example, what the sequence is, unless you already memorized it or you already know it, and to actually play, improvise over it. So you can go to another zone now on Fantom and improvise as you like. So you can use these to actually continue recording patterns and also different version of the patterns as well. And then ultimately, what you can save it, of course, as a song, but ultimately you can also go to pad mode, and then you can say select pattern. Okay, and it says pad mode change to pattern. You can see the highlighted areas, and I explained these in another tutorials. And now you can use the pads on the Phantom to actually start different patterns whenever you like. So let's start with the bass. Let's press pad 2. And now pad 1. So as you can see, it's quite a good combination between the two of them. So you can use Scalar 2 from the iPad to quickly generate effectively patterns, which then you record into your Phantom, and therefore you can create very quickly songs or multiple songs and variation, etc. And please do check my tutorials on Scalar 2 on my channel, because they will show you, for example, how to use the modulation page, the pad page, and then you can create different parts of the songs, etc., etc. So I hope you agree with me that this actually is a fantastic combination between the two of them, and it's not too expensive. You just need an iPad and then a way to connect the iPad to the Phantom. In this case, I just used a wireless interface, Midi interface, which works extremely well. Okay, I hope you enjoyed, and as always, see you next time. Bye.